What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Brand to Table podcast episode. I'm your host, Henry Kaminski Jr., your go-to for restaurant marketing and branding. And today we have a phenomenal guest on the show. She not only has one restaurant, but she now has two. And she's been moving and shaking over the last couple years in the northern New Jersey area. And when I reached out, she was very welcoming to coming on the show. And like I said before, you've seen me in my Instagram, I'm trying to get more female representation on the show. It's just a dude fest lately. And I want to switch that up because there's a lot of women in the industry in this area that are doing some really awesome things. So without further ado, I want to introduce you guys to Brittany Crevier from Cafe Crevier and now Bistro Crevier. What's going on, Brett?
Hi, Henry. Thank you for having me.
So let's get into this, right? So I'm excited to have you here because, like I said, people are starting to learn who and what Cafe Crevier is, and now Bistro Crevier that just opened, but they don't know the story behind the woman that's building it all. And so let's start there. What would the version of you 10 years ago think if she could see what you've built today?
I definitely wouldn't believe it. I was 21 years old 10 years ago, so just fresh in the restaurant industry and learning a lot. I definitely clung to it very quickly. I was in college at the time, got a restaurant job, answering phones, and just needed to pay my rent. And I really just, from the moment I stepped in there, it was like something clicked and I was addicted to it immediately. So I probably was working maybe 6 to 8 months in the restaurant when I told my parents I'm not going back to college. And I found myself, even when I had classes, just calling out because I wanted to work more. I definitely put work over everything. Like back then, I really loved the environment. It's a lot of pressure. It's very high, like energy, but it's something that I didn't even know that I would enjoy until I started. And here we are today.
Did you know you always wanted to own a restaurant?
No. So when I was 19, I want to say, my mother had a meal prep business in North Jersey. I grew up in Rockaway, New Jersey, and she moved to Toms River. And after she moved, her customers up here still wanted to get food. So, and before I got the job at the restaurant, I was kind of in between nannying and school. And I was like, let me just cook for the customers because I would always help her in the kitchen. It wasn't something that I wanted to do, but I helped and I was good at it. Since 19, I've had a meal prep business that I deliver the food and cook for the customers, and I still do it to this day. And that's kind of where I started in the food industry.
So what first pulled you into the industry? I'm just curious.
I think just the vibe of just being in a restaurant. And for me, I'm a very calm person. I don't get overwhelmed easily. So it kind of fit me perfectly because you need to be calm and not let everything affect you. And you have to kind of just, if one thing goes wrong, you have to move on and you have to just keep going. And on a busy night in a restaurant, you can't let one, you're not going to be able to please everyone. And that's just impossible. So you can't let one inconvenience ruin the rest of your night and throw off your entire, vibe of the night. So I think that I kind of realized that I was pretty good at that and balancing everything. And just, I like the energy and just like being under pressure, and it's like a rush feeling, but like it's addicting if you're good at it and you like it.
Yeah. What were those early restaurant years teaching you?
Definitely a lot of work ethic. It was my first job in a restaurant, so I didn't know all the behind the scenes of what goes into it. It's a lot. It's definitely, you never know. Like one of the most important jobs in the restaurant is the dishwasher. You don't, like if you don't have a dishwasher, you don't have dishes and you can't put out your food.
It's like the Achilles heel. Yeah.
Yeah. And not like if you've never been in a kitchen and worked in a kitchen with, all these different people, like you don't realize how much like these people matter. You learn so much. I've worked for a few different people and not everyone runs their business the same way. But I definitely learned from every single person that I've worked for. And you kind of just take like your spin on things, like going into owning a restaurant, I had no idea what I was doing, but you kind of like, you learn, you remember things from, when this happened years ago in the restaurant and this and that. And you take a little bits and pieces of everything and kind of just go. And it's a risk that you got to take, but
it kind of all comes together somehow, right?
yeah.
So was there a specific moment in your life where you were like, this is why I want to own my own restaurant one day?
I think that I was spending so much time in other people's restaurants and I knew I was good at it. I worked, my entire 20s. I never took off. I worked every weekend, every single night. Like I was really into it. And, at that age when you're 21, 22, like a lot of my friends are going out and they're partying and this and that. But like I was so addicted to working and, I knew I was good at it. So that's why I never left.
What made you think you were good at it?
I think just the feedback from customers and just, you get people that start coming in and like they want you as their waitress. I was a waitress. So, and you're fast. You don't you learn from mistakes that you make and you don't get overwhelmed and you just have to learn from, when being in it. But I've worked in 3 different restaurants, and when I started at like a new restaurant, like people were impressed by me, the first day I would work there, they're like, wow, like no one's ever come in and just started working and did what they were doing. And, I just realized I was like, I am good at this.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been into Cafe Crevier some days where it is like asshole to belly button packed.
Yeah.
And I just see you kind of just like whisking around.
I know. I really am good under pressure and I don't let anything affect me too heavily that, I can't. I like to help like my staff. Like if there's someone that is sick and they need to leave, I'll go jump on and I'll start doing pizzas with them. If there's a problem in the kitchen, I'll go and help them in the kitchen. If my food runner needs help, I'll run food. If a busser needs help, I'll bus tables. Like I will do everything and I have no problem doing it. I enjoy doing it. So, and nights where, the staff, everything's flowing, I walk through the dining room. I like to talk to people, take their plates, ask how everything was. And it's just what I enjoy.
Here's the deal. People see the finished product, but they don't really always see the grind that came before it, right? So talk to me about Healthy Habits. You mentioned this meal prep company in the past, and you still have it?
Yeah.
What did that chapter of your life teach you?
Consistency. You gotta just, there's things come up and, it was only me. So, I would put out a menu every Thursday and then I would have customers order by Sunday for Monday delivery. So, I'd have to balance out what food I need to go buy, how long it's going to take me to cook all these things. I need to, portion all of them and bag all of them and then deliver all of them. So I was doing it all myself and it just I was young, I was 19. It taught me just like the grind of work and, it pays off if you're consistent and you enjoy doing it.
Yeah. You got to love doing it. Otherwise it could feel like a real chore. And I think when it starts to feel like a chore,
then it's not for you.
No, not at all. So what was the hardest part, would you say, about becoming an owner for the first time?
I would say being in charge of people. It was never, I was waitressing. I was given responsibilities in the restaurants that I worked at, but I never, had to make the final decision and handle all of these problems between all these employees and, tell them, what to do and you're wrong and this and that. I'm not a confrontational person. So it was difficult for me in the beginning to have to tell these people that this is right, this is wrong and everything, but you get used to it. But I really am grateful for all of my employees that I have at both spots. They all really respect me. I respect them. I love having a relationship with every single one of them. And it means a lot to me. And you see once you're in the workplace and they see you working as hard as they are, they gain more respect for you.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I see it, in my line of business. I come into a restaurant, I start working with them, and right away the GM's looking at me like, who's this fucking guy? We went through 6 of you already.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to do different? And to your point, it's getting that respect. Yeah. And I think when they see over time that you really give a shit and that you really want to see everybody succeed, I think that goes a long way and you start to earn their trust.
Definitely. No one understands, like, a lot of people are, like, shocked by the way I work. Like, I've even the cafe, like, I painted every single wall that was in that place. My arm almost fell off, but I was so determined and, like, I will do anything. I'm carrying ladders, I'm carrying this, I'm doing, like, I'm very hands-on and I enjoy doing it. And same thing with this place. When I first walked in here, it was a disaster. It was such a mess. And anyone that I brought in, I think they thought I was a little crazy. But I saw like the potential, and all last summer, I worked every single day here, like painting and drilling and doing all, like, I made these trees here. Like, and I never even know what the vision of what I want it to look like until I start putting, like, I just order things and I'm like, oh, this is nice. This is nice. And then it all just kind of goes together.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think hit hardest emotionally once you became that owner?
It definitely in the beginning, it's just like I felt kind of like numb, like I didn't know what was going on. Kind of like a shock in the beginning because you're just not used to it. And it's just like you're responsible for so many things. And like I just was not used to that. Like, I still to this day, last night, I wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning, like I didn't put the produce order in and I have to call it in. And like you're just always on the grind. Like it never shuts off. You can't just, shut your phone off and not talk to anyone. Like you're in charge of everything. Like if someone calls out, if something happens, like everything, you just always have to be on call. It's a transition.
Yeah. What'd you have to learn the fastest?
The fastest, I would say, to just not let things affect you. Like, in the beginning of the cafe, I would get so upset at like any negative review and I would fixate on it, and like it would ruin like my entire day. And then the longer I kept, the longer we were there, I just kind of realized like you can't please everyone. Not everyone's going to enjoy what, like there's just going to be some haters, but you gotta that's in every aspect of life. So
Not everybody can bat 1,000.
yeah.
I tell people that all the time. Like, listen, I'm going to do a hell of a job for you, but you better get your expectations to like an 800 or a 750 batting average, because, there's going to be times where I might take my eye off the ball, and that's just human. That's just human.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think when you own it, and that's a lot of times I talk to restaurant owners and I'm like, if you fucked up, just
Yeah, I agree.
because the people that watch you respond to that review, or they come in and you acknowledge them, or you call them and you're like, hey, yesterday was a really rough day. I'm not even going to make excuses for you, but XYZ.
Yeah.
Next time you come in, we got you, whatever. That just hits so much different.
Yeah, you have to be honest. I mean, there's nothing you can do. I would always go up to the table. I'm like, I'm so sorry, but I forgot to put this in. And this is why it's not coming out right now.
That honesty, I think, is what everybody is just like very thirsty for these days. I heard this recently. They said, I don't know when the world became a gotcha world. And what he was saying was like, gotcha, you did that wrong.
Yeah.
Or gotcha, that, and like, man, that hit me so hard, because I was like, am I playing in that world? Like, am I waiting for the restaurant to mess up so I could call them out?
Yeah.
And like, that's not a good way to live.
No, definitely not. I don't even understand how, unless I had like someone like slapped me in the face in the restaurant, I would never write a review just to say, like, just to bash them. It's a hard business. It's really a really hard business to be in and keep running, like there's a lot of different things that come into play when, like, weather. If it snows, like, we're not doing much business. So, it's like a lot of different things that you have to be grateful for, what people, like, when people like understands these things, and you can't be mad at, like, I can't be mad at someone who's being honest with me about something.
It's very hard to be. So let's talk about Cafe Crevier here for a second. Then we'll get into Bistro in a second. But every place has that moment, right, where it stops being just an idea and it really starts to become like real. So what did the vision of Cafe Crevier where did it come from?
I think I was really into building a place that wasn't like your typical Italian restaurant, your typical like American restaurant. Because I love like all different, like I love Asian food, I love American, Italian, like everything. And I wanted to be able to kind of like put everything into one and make it like it. I love changing the menu. I love doing the specials. Like every Friday morning, I wake up, I have my coffee, and I do the specials. And like then I go in and I teach the kitchen how I want it done. And then it's just I enjoy that part of it. And I think I just wanted somewhere that was you can go in, you can dress up, you can celebrate something, you can go in casually, you can go in sweatpants and get a pizza, and not many places. It's not like a pizzeria, you don't just go in and order a pizza and then you leave. Like it's a dining experience. I take a lot of pride in like, my waiters and waitresses that, they build relationships with customers and people come back for them and come back for me. And I enjoy like the whole everything about it.
Yeah. Listen, you said that you never did a podcast before.
No.
Doing a pretty damn good job.
Thanks.
So I ask this to every restaurateur I have on the show. What do you want people to feel the moment they walk into your restaurant?
I want it to feel like you're hanging out like in your house with your friends and you're having just a great time. Like it's comfortable, it's warm. You can make it like whatever. If you just need a casual lunch, you're celebrating a huge birthday, you're celebrating, a baby shower, whatever it is. I just like everyone to feel comfortable and relaxed and just warm and at home.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's smart because people want to, when they go out, especially now when everything is quite expensive.
Yeah.
They want an experience. And I heard this recently, but it's been a term that's kind of been used for quite some time. But this business is like a theater business. Think about it. Like people want an experience. They just don't want food thrown on a table and so if you can bake that in somehow, which I see your team do sometimes, especially, on your social media, you guys were doing some pretty theatrical things at one point, it's great to see that side of the team, right?
Yeah.
All right. So let me ask you this. Did guests shape the brand or did you quote sort of craft this yourself?
I think a little bit of both. I think I definitely learned a lot from our customers in the beginning. Our menu is completely different from when we opened. And because I want feedback from people. I always go up to tables. I'm like, give me feedback, even if it's, just your honest feedback. I want to know. And I think, the different specials that we would put out, we added the pizza and, whatever. I go by what people are really enjoying and the feedback that I get. And that really shaped the place to what it is today.
When did you realize people were really connecting with it?
We opened in October of 2022.
Great time to open.
And then we didn't add pizzas until about a year later, I want to say, something like that. So people were kind of like, and we've started doing like breakfast in the beginning, and then we changed so much, and people were like confused as to what, and we were still figuring out like what we were really like at that time. But we would see some things that worked, some things that didn't. So like I would, we're not doing breakfast anymore. We do brunch on Saturdays and Sundays, and just to see what people really liked. And people really liked the pizza, and they liked, the different types of food that we give. We have tacos, we have burgers, we have Italian dishes, seafood, like everything. It's all over the place, the menu. And people started realizing like it's not just a cafe, like they actually have really good food and really good pizza. And like then the word starts spreading. Dave Portnoy came and gave us an 8.5 score, and that really like the business went nuts after that.
I read in my research that you were doing like 800 pies one day, 600 pies the next.
Crazy.
Like,
for those like I don't even like I blacked out like for a month. I think after he came, like I don't remember even working. It just was like I would wake up, I would have to run to like Restaurant Depot or something because we would run out of everything at the time, and then we were still like teaching the people like how to do the pizzas at the time because we had just started doing the pizzas February, I want to say, and then he came the end of April or like beginning of May, so like it was still so new, and we just weren't expecting it. Like I did not think he was coming there because we were only doing pizzas for a few months at that point. So that was like a really big changing point for the business.
Any sort of punch like that has got to be like shit.
And everyone feels it, like, we know like the kitchen, because, everything boosts once that happens. Like people are ordering constantly takeout, and just everything it was fast paced, and you had to just like get through the day. And then I would sit down at the end of the night and I'm like, what just happened?
It makes you think like, all right, am I am I made for this?
Yeah.
But then at the end of the day, when you see how much you accomplished.
Yeah. You love it being in it. It's just like, it's like whiplash. Like I didn't even know what was going on. Just my arm, I just was pulling pizzas out of the oven like for hours. My arm was like falling off, but I built like a muscle in one arm from doing it. But it was crazy.
It's awesome though.
Yeah.
It's awesome. You know, that the people don't experience that in a lifetime, you know, and you're able to experience that and now see that kind of, not that you weren't doing worse prior, but that really kind of kicked things off perhaps and made you start to realize like, oh shit, you know, what kind of prep do I need to do moving forward? You know, it teaches you things.
Yeah, definitely.
So as we said, you know, attention's great, but it puts a lot of pressure on things, right? So when did you start feeling like people were really starting to pay attention? Was it after Portnoy or was it prior that?
I mean, that definitely was one of like the
Spikes.
turning points of the business. You know, a lot of people still didn't even know that we were there in town, you know, and the name I think threw some people off because cafe is, you know, you think coffee and pastries and stuff.
Well, I thought it was French.
Yeah. And it is like my last name is French Canadian. I'm half French Canadian, half Sicilian. And people like everyone was confused about what was going on. We had to just show people like what we were about. And I think like after the name got out and then they saw the pizza and they came in and, you know, had great food, people start talking and people, you know, and that's how it happens.
So what happens behind the scenes when demand spikes like that? I kind of want to pull the curtain back a little bit.
Things are crazy. That's just the best way to put it. But you have to just trust your employees and you rely on them a lot. Like I wouldn't be able to do it without any of them. Like one person's not there, it's hard. But when you have a good team and you can trust and rely on them, like it makes such a difference. I still have like my manager there has been with me since the day we opened and I trust her with everything. Like she's just like a second mother to me. And it's really important to build like a bond with everyone that works for you because then they want to work hard for you. Like, you know, it's the respects thing again.
Yeah. You're stealing all my questions away. So I'm like digging here. But what did that high pressure, you know, teach you about yourself?
You have to stay calm and true to yourself. You can't let anything, you know, get like in your head too much. You know, when the business spiked like that, obviously there's a lot of complaints because we're, you know, you're rushing. It's new. We weren't used to doing like the amount of volume that we were doing at that point. So, you know, you have to just be humble about it and apologize when you can. And, you know, just understand that we're all still like trying to work and learn how to do this just as much as you guys want the food. Like it's hard.
Yeah. And like we said before, I think that clear communication and that authenticity and trust, I think is a huge factor in retaining that relationship.
Anything new is, you know, it's the first time you're doing this much volume, you're learning as well. And, you know, like we do like big Mother's Day brunches and Easter brunches. And the first time we did those, like, I didn't know what to expect. So I don't know if I'm fully prepared for it, but, you know, and now like it's been a few years and now like I got it down. I'm like excited for them. I'm like, we got this, you know, and everyone's excited for it now, but I was nervous for them in the beginning.
Yeah. Well, as you should be, you know, but you got to just work those nerves out. And, you know, we are capable of doing so much more than we think we can.
Definitely. I mean, everything is a risk in this business. If I wouldn't be here if I wasn't willing to take the risk, you know, and sometimes it doesn't work out, but you'll never know that unless you do that. And that's, I think a lot of people that want to be in this industry or something like this, it's scary. And, you know, because you're putting everything out on the line, but you'll never know unless you try.
Yeah. Where did that tenacity come from?
I honestly, like, I think just being like, I was so nervous opening the cafe. It was my first, you know, thing that I ever owned. And it's a lot of pressure. And it's just, everyone is like looking at you. And like, it's a lot. And I learned just like as time went on, like you get, you know, the compliments you get from people and like, you don't even realize like that you're doing a good job. You know, like I'm like judging myself constantly about like, oh God, did I like mess this up or did I say the wrong thing or did this dish not come out right? And like constantly judging yourself, but like the feedback that you get and like the more people that, just compliment you, you realize like, okay, like this, this is working. And
They're building you up.
yeah.
Even if they're your guests. I think that's a huge, huge win. And yes, to your point before, haters are going to hate and you got to dust them off, All right. So you want to go make some pizza?
Sure.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
So what kind of pizza are we making?
What do you want to make? What toppings do you like?
Kind of like sausage and peppers.
Okay. Do you like hot peppers or no?
No.
Okay. Not a spicy.
No, I'm not a spicy guy.
It's all right. This is also a different cheese blend that instead of the same one we use at the cafe, I changed it up a little bit. Same brand of cheese, but a little different. So we do like sliced sausage, but we can also crumble it if that's your preference. But the sausage is really good. It curls up. It's good.
Well, that was a shit ton of fun. I want to do that again.
Yes.
By the way, I love your freaking pizza. It's like amazing, right? I could eat like 3 of them at one sitting. So that's a problem, right? But let's talk about Bistro. We're here at Bistro Crevier, and I was very purposeful on wanting to do the episode here so people can actually see it, But now opening up one location's one thing, but now you have number 2. So why was this the right time to go for number 2?
I was bored. I want to be needed in the restaurant. And I think like I'm there every weekend, when it's like the weekends are the busiest. So like I'm there every weekend, but I'm always like to my staff, I'm like, do you want help? Like, can I do this for you? Can I do that? And like, they're like, no, I got it. We're good. So like I kind of like, and I just opened this 3 weeks ago, but I signed the lease in June. So I kind of was like training everyone to like be used to me not being there as much so I can trust that like they're okay with it, and because I do like, helping the servers. I like helping the pizza guys. I like helping wherever I can. But it kind of got to the point where like I would go in and they didn't need me for anything. I just was making sure everything was okay. And then I was like, I mean, I'm not married. I don't have kids right now. So I was like, this is the time to do it. And I'm from Morris County, so I know the area. And I think this area, they definitely built up a lot. And I think there's not a lot of like small BYOB businesses. It's a lot of chains and fast food. And I take a lot of pride in fresh, like good ingredients.
Why Ledgewood?
Just going back to, I think this area needs something like this. I don't think they have anything that's really like a dine-in casual place, but you can, go out for a date on a Friday night and enjoy like really good food. There's, and I don't think, this area it's not a bar. You save money on BYOB and yeah.
You're on Route 10, right? So it's a big vein that goes through, and to your point, there's tons of just chains.
And one of my good friends owns a bakery down the street for years, him and his family. And he would tell me like he would get out of work and he's like, I'm hungry and there's nowhere to go around here.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me ask you this. What did you want Bistro Crevier to be that was different from Cafe Crevier?
So I definitely didn't want them to be the same. I didn't want them to compete with each other because I do want them to be different and stand out differently. So over the summer, I got really into my sourdough journey. So the pizza is made with sourdough. It's a different dough. So it's a different flavor, different crisp and everything. And then I do fresh pasta here. So little twist on everything, but still the same. I have smash burgers and the menu still, like, I know I'm going to change it 1,000 times because we've only been open for 3 weeks, but this is my starter menu. And yeah, I'm excited to keep building it.
Describe the personality of Bistro Crevier.
I'm going for just like fresh, local, just like really good dishes that I put out. And, I'm excited to start doing specials here. The cafe, I feel like is more, I don't know how to explain it. I'm like, so I have the sign up front that says like spicy pasta, sourdough, sweet people. I'm just going for like that vibe and just like, a calm, like fun atmosphere that serves really good food.
That's it.
Yeah.
I think it's easy for you to stand out when you have all these chains that are very processed, very like low personality, right? And I say that in a way that no disrespect, but still like everything is very just like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like conveyor belt. We're here. I haven't been here. I haven't dined here yet, but we will be here shortly. I could tell you from Cafe Crevier, it's like you walk in, it's like, it's just fun. There's a young vibe, but they're all on their game and the food is very consistently good.
I do love hiring young people in high school because I remember being that age and like it's their first job and like you like hiring them from day one to like them a year later, like they are so much more comfortable and like, it really like the restaurant like teaches you to be outgoing and learn like a lot of different things that like you would never learn. I think everyone should work in a restaurant at some point in their life. You learn so much.
1,000%.
I really do love watching the kids that like work for me just like grow and just like see how different they are from day one. It's like, it's crazy.
So let me ask you this. What lessons did you learn from location 1 to helping you open up location 2?
Lessons. Definitely just the way to balance everything. Can't like in the beginning of the cafe, I was there like day and night. I never left. I like didn't have a life. I just was focused on like that place and constantly like if I wasn't there for a second, I'm staring at the cameras, making sure like it's crazy. And I still do it, but like not as much. But I learned that like you have to be able to step away or I'm never going to have a life. So now here, like I'm here now, but like I also like I'm like not at the cafe. So I'm like looking at the, cameras, seeing what's going on. But it's good. Like I like to be able to bounce back and forth. Like on my way here, I'll stop at the cafe and then I come here, then I go back to the cafe, then I go home, take my dogs out. Then it's just like a routine that I have right now. But eventually, I'll be able to, spend a Friday night here, spend a Saturday night there and just go back and forth.
I think the proxemics of both locations is great.
Yeah.
And especially if you live in the area, it's like kind of like a loop.
Yeah. And I think it's like a good distance that I'm going to pull from different towns over here that, probably maybe have never been to the cafe. And then, they'll say, oh, they have another one. Let's go try that one because the menus aren't the same.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. What's still a little stressful?
It's always stressful. Like there's never a time when it's not, but it's fun and it's exciting at the same time, just managing employees, customers, the food, the orders, the scheduling. There's never a time when like my brain shuts off ever, but I'm just used to it at this point. So now I just have double.
Yeah. Double the thinking, All right. So check it out. 2 locations in, right? I'm always curious to see how restaurateurs like yourself continue to grow, right? So what has been the hardest part on the marketing side of things versus running the restaurant?
I just learned to like how to do it myself. But I still don't know what I'm doing like totally with marketing, social media plays a huge part in it. So, and I am not like, I'm excited that I'm doing this because I'm trying to get better at, speaking on camera. So, but it's definitely like today, like everything is social media and, putting your brand out there and you have to attract the people's eye. And that's really how you get people to come into your business at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not just the food.
Yeah.
It's the personality.
It is.
Right.
I've been to, I see places on TikTok and Instagram like, wow, like this place looks awesome. And like a lot of the times it's great. And sometimes it's a little disappointing, but it looked so cool and good that like I was so excited. But like, it's not everywhere is going to meet up to like what you're expecting. But
Right. So that's why when you walk into a restaurant, it's zero expectations.
Yeah.
It's a hard thing to do.
It is.
Zero expectations, and 9 times out of 10, they blow you away. Do you feel like your restaurants are being seen online the way they deserve to be seen?
No, I think they deserve a little bit more. I mean, this one's so new and, I got to build it up a little bit, but the cafe, I think it deserves a lot of like shine. It's an awesome place and there's nowhere like it in the town of Denville. We like there's pizza places, there's, Chinese places, there's Italian places, but there's not somewhere that kind of does it all. Like last week I did like a fried rice special with a hanger steak and a scallops and stuff. Like you're not going to find that at your just regular Italian restaurant. And, we have outdoor dining, we do the brunch. I try to do like different special occasions for the holidays, do a lot of parties there for different occasions. And yeah, it's a great size space for that. And I think it deserves like a lot of attention.
I love it. I love it. What do you wish more people understood about your restaurants that your current marketing may not be fully communicating?
I think just a sense of like hard work and community. I mean, some people, like I said, like people, you don't know what goes into a restaurant unless you've been in one and working in one. So like I really appreciate the people that, they'll come up to me, like get up from their table and come up to me and just be like, I just want to let you know, like you're doing like a really great job. And I see you bussing the tables. I see you, pulling out the pizzas. I see you answering the phones. Like it's just, and people don't realize that on social media because they don't see like the background of it, So we do like at the cafe, we have an open space where you do see the pizza people, but you don't see the kitchen people. But I think that's pretty cool because people can see like how hard they're working, it's like nonstop for hours. They're sweating in front of a 600-degree pizza oven. Like it's a lot, it's hard work and you're burning yourself. It's crazy. But
yeah,
if more people understood and saw the behind the scenes of a restaurant, I think like a lot of their opinions would change on a lot of things.
Leaving that 1, 2, or 3-star review, right?
Yeah.
If you could fix one thing, right, like instantly with your marketing, or let's call it social media presence, what do you think that would be?
I do try to involve like everyone in the social media. Like I like to involve the guys in the kitchen. I like to involve like the girls in the front that answer the phones and the waiters and waitresses because I think it's important for everyone to see it's not just me, like we're a team and everyone like plays a really big role in the business.
That you feel the minute you walk in. I mean, I've seen it, multiple times, and I see it on your social media. You posted something recently about the soccer team.
Yeah. That was yesterday morning. My whole staff from the cafe after work went and played soccer together. And then I got there Monday morning to do the meal prep. And they were also excited to show me like that they all went and played soccer together. And they showed me the picture. And then they were like, if we got jerseys, like, can we put Crevier on the jerseys? And I was like, of course. Like, I was so excited. And I love showing, like, I appreciate all of them so much. And I love showing people that.
That doesn't happen a lot.
Yeah. Definitely not.
Not in this industry. I was chief marketing officer for a big hospitality group in Chicago for 3 years. And that was one thing that really irked me about all of our restaurants is that the camaraderie wasn't there. It was a lot of finger pointing. It was a lot of just, I would see GMs come and go within weeks. And I was like, why?
Yeah.
And then I realized it's the fucking personality of the top.
Yeah.
It's the leadership.
Anything can throw off a night, like any one of my employees is having, if they're fighting in the kitchen or something, it's going to throw off the whole night. So, but like, I always tell them, like, if there's an issue, just come to me. Like, I'm not the type to, if someone makes a mistake, I don't get angry. Like, I'm not going to reprimand you for making a mistake. Like, I literally am like the last person to get angry. Like, I'm just like, all right, like, we got to fix it. Like, that's the only thing. Like, doesn't matter. People make mistakes. And I think they feel like everyone feels very comfortable around me because I enjoy being that way towards them. Like, it's not, I'm not any better than you at this. Like, we're a team and they respect that, like I like, I'm really like big on that.
That's good because when you're working this much, this close.
Yeah. I mean, you're with the same people every day for hours. So like there's bound for something to happen. But I'm like, you just have to get over it. Like, we'll work out whatever the issue is. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah. Well, one thing I love about your story is that it feels very local. And that's the whole premise of this podcast, is to really feature Northern New Jersey, restaurants and restaurateurs like yourself. And that sense of community is what I think makes Jersey a lot different than other states.
Yeah, definitely.
What does building in North Jersey mean to you personally?
I think like growing up in this county, and it's really cool to be able to. So I grew up in Rockaway. I opened the first restaurant in Denville. So like I grew up in Denville. I grew up, I went to Morse Hills and Morse Knolls, it's all intertwined. Opening there was like, it meant a lot. And it was cool because I got to like, people come in and like, I haven't seen them since I'm a kid. And like, they're like, I remember this, like, it's just, I see so many people that I haven't seen in years. And, I get to sponsor like the high school that I went to and like just different things like that. And it's just a different feeling when you're able to do it in somewhere that you grew up. And North Jersey, like I'm a big Jersey girl. Like I love Jersey. My basically my whole family now lives down the shore, but like it's, going to the beach in the summertime, that's my thing. I love everything about it. I'm a big like plant person and garden. I think it's a beautiful state.
I noticed walking in here that you have all live plants in the front.
Yeah, I'm a big garden plant person, and my mom has a huge garden in her backyard in the summertime. Like all I'm eating is out of that garden, like the tomatoes and everything. It's so good.
My God, can you bring some up for me?
Definitely.
I need some good tomatoes around here. What do you love most about Denville and Ledgewood?
They're small like towns that it's just like Ledgewood I'm still new to. I'm getting used to the town, but it seems like everyone's very supportive and like happy for me to be here. They're excited for, a small like local woman-owned business. And Denville, Denville's a really awesome, cool town, like to have a business in. It really is. They do a lot for their businesses. They shut down the roads and throw all these different things for, the town. And it's fun to be a part of.
Yeah, you're right about Denville. They have the taste of Denville. Yeah. They have that big block party in the summer.
Yeah, there's always something going on, literally always. Yeah.
No, I wish we had that. Well, I live in Sparta, so we do have our parades in here and there, but like we need that, by us. What do you want your restaurants to mean to the community?
I think just having an understanding, like a small local business and, I'm trying to provide you with something great that makes you feel good and makes you feel at home, and just to be able to like be happy that you have somewhere so close to your home that, you don't have to, like, I love cooking for people. I think it's just like a different way of showing people like who you are and like what you're about.
Yeah, that's awesome. Listen, I love what you're doing, and just keep it up because I see number 3 coming around.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to it.
Sooner than later. All right, we got some rapid fire questions for you. Ready? What's the most underrated item on either menu?
A lot of people don't realize, I think, like the pork chop. I don't eat pork chops. People love this pork chop. Like it's just it's different. I don't know what we do different than other places. It just makes it stand out. I don't know. Also, like the seafood, I'm a big seafood lover, and we get, it's all very fresh and it's so good. And I just don't think people they're like, oh, we're going to Cafe Crevier, let's get pizza or a burger and some appetizers, but like they don't know that these things are like so good.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. What's your go-to when you're starving?
I'm a pasta person. I'm eating pasta literally every single day of my life.
One thing you're extremely particular about?
I think the presentation of the dishes. I think I like to let the chefs do like their own thing, but if I see something come out, like I will like later on then tell them like, let's change this a little bit, or like, let's, because presentation's important. You want to make the dish look pretty.
Yeah. Aesthetics, everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's harder, opening up restaurant 1 or restaurant 2?
1.
One word you hope guests use after dining with you.
Any good word, fantastic, different, amazing, like anything like that. Like someone just wrote a review that someone like walked out and they were like, it's exceptional or something. And then they that person wrote in the review, like they heard the person, he's like, they weren't wrong. Like it really is. And, you know, it's good to hear that.
Final question. When people leave Cafe Crevier and Bistro Crevier, what do you hope stays with them the most? The food, the feeling, or the memory they made here?
I think the memory. I think, you know, even if I don't, like, if I go somewhere and I don't have, like, I didn't love my meal, but the place and, like, the people in it were great, like, I'm 100% going back. And, you know, I think, like, I love trying new restaurants. It's my favorite thing to do when I'm not working. I'm going out to eat and I'm getting drinks somewhere. But even if, like, you know, it's all important. But I think, like, if you thought about the place again afterwards, like you made like an imprint on them and they want to go back.
Yeah, for sure. Brittany, you are a doll. You are awesome at what you do. And I had to highlight you and feature you on this show. We're going to do some collab posts and things once this goes live. Keep doing what you're doing. I think you're doing just an amazing job. It's just one foot in front of the other. I don't think you're trying to be somebody you're not. And you see that a lot in this area. And I just want to congratulate you. And I appreciate you saying yes to the show. You don't know how many no's I get.
Really?
I do. I mean, I go after some monsters, but I'm relentless.
Yeah,
and I will eventually,
and
I will have them on the show.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of timing.
I'm very grateful for the opportunity.
No, it was awesome. And this place is great. I'm going to bring the wifey and little guy here, and we're going to have a great meal here. So that's all I got for you today, guys. A lot of great gems coming out of this episode. I want to know from you what your biggest takeaway was. And what did Brittany say that resonated? And my big question is, when the hell are you coming down to Cafe Crevier and Bistro Crevier to try out the food? Hands down, it's solid. It's consistent. I would rate it a 5 out of 5. I haven't had a bad meal here. I've been to Cafe Crevier a dozen times now, and it's just constantly hits. So I definitely want you to go check them out. Britt, where can they find you on social media? I forgot to say.
So Cafe Crevier, it's just cafe.crevier, bistro.crevier. I have TikTok. I'm not big on it yet. I'm trying to get better at all of this.
All right, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share this with somebody in the industry that you think could get value out of it. I'm going to catch you on the next episode real soon. Have an amazing day. Love you guys. Keep up the great work and the support, and I'll see you soon.